Good afternoon, everybody. We'll be starting very soon. It's 2 minutes to go. I'm just going to send a message just to make sure that you can all see the screen and hear me. If you can, just say yes, you can. And if you can't hear me, please have a look at your settings and just make sure that you've got everything turned on. Everybody is muted, so I can't hear you, so please don't worry about that. If you do want to ask a question, you can ask a question at any time by just typing into the message that I've sent you all. Okay. Okay, excellent. People have responded, so I'm not just talking to myself, which I have done in the past. It took me a few seconds before I realized that nobody could hear me. So we'll just wait 1 more minute and then we'll start, if that's okay. Okay, so 4 o'clock my time, 5 o'clock European time. Let's make a start. So if you want to ask a question, please type away. You can either ask a question as we go, or you can ask a question at the end, or you can email me afterwards with any questions. So, right, we'll begin then. Just make sure, let's just check one thing. Audience view, sharing. Okay, so we are recording now. So my name is Jason Kirridge. I work for SolarEdge. I'm the technical marketing manager for UK, Ireland and Scandinavia, and I'll be doing the designer with you this afternoon. The design has been broken down into 2 parts. So the first part is a basic. Don't be worried about that because it says basic. It's still quite advanced. There's still lots on there. And then the advanced part is the new features that are coming out and extra stuff that will be available and tips and cheats that you can do. Okay, so we'll make a start. As always, we always should start in the login section on our website. The website here is great. It has loads of information about products. I'll show you something very quickly before we go into the designer, and that's if you click on the support tab, go to training, and then look in the region you are. So for UK, you can see we've got loads of webinars coming on now, and it should also be the same for Sweden as well. Okay, so always just if you go onto our website, just have a quick look, go to training and just see what's available. There might be something of interest for you that you want to have a look at. So we'll go to login, click on login. We've got monitoring. This is where you would see everything's happening on the site. Support is where you would speak to someone should you have some queries or you may believe you have an issue. E-learning, we're doing some courses online so you can register online and complete the training that way. Designer, which we'll look at, an alliance point. So everything you install, you get some alliance points for. So let's have a look. Let's go straight to the designer. And here we go. So what we've got on the designer is we'll start over here where my cursor is. We've got a search bar and then we've got some filters, and we'll click on this filter here first. And what this filter does, it shows me my projects, commercial or residential. If I click on residential, you say the list changes. If I click on my projects, we get every single designer site for the whole of SolarEdge that people have done. Okay, so we'll stick on my projects, we'll stick on my residential for now, and the other filter we've got here is allows us to search project names, owners, that sort of stuff, modified dates and things like that. So that's generally the home view that you get. One of the other things that you can do is you can highlight the actual designer that you're looking at. So you can highlight this one here for Rolf, and we can do two things. One, we can move along, we can duplicate, or we can delete. So if we duplicate, it comes up with Rolf number 1. That's fine. And then what happens is it will open us up. So we'll just go back to where we were. And now we've got Rolf and Rolf number 1. So we've got two designs exactly the same. And the reason for this is if the person that you were doing the design for wanted some changes doing, rather than have to redo the whole thing, redo the whole of the building, put all the panels on, all the inverters and all the stringing, all you need to do is just create a new site and you can add, remove, or anything you want, whatever you need to do. Now, should you not need that, or should you want to delete a property because, or delete a design, it's very simple. Just highlight it again and click on the delete. Make sure you want to delete it. We go yes, and then you can see that's now gone. Okay. So what we're going to look at is the basic design in general, and then we're going to do that for the first half hour, and then the second half hour we're going to look at more interesting things that can be done. Now, one thing I'm going to do to make it really exciting is I'm going to type in here the word beta. So in the top there, I type in beta. Now what this does, this allows me to have some more features that won't be on the designer. These are the features that will be released, okay? Be released very, very soon. You can, of course, type in beta and do the design like this, but there may be slight discrepancies in it because it's not been released yet. So just use the normal designer website. So I'm doing this to show you what the new things are. So we've got at the bottom here, or top here, we've got designer. Everything is grayed out. We can't see any more. And then we've got a plus at the bottom here. So let's go and do a new site. So I'll click on plus. And then what happens is we get some information pop up. Just check nobody's asked a question. No, that's okay. So we get this information pop up. We need to put a name in. So let's put down webinar 17. Oh, I've lost the 7. July 2019. So that's our project name, and then coordinates. And we can do several things. We can type in a postcode or an area code. We can then type in an address or a town or a country. So I know there's places that I'm familiar with. So I will type in a postcode. And you see at the moment we've got no picture here, okay? But what we do have is an address has come up. So no number, but an address. So yeah, that's the one I'm familiar with, that one. We'll click on that. And now I've clicked on the address, you can see that the Google map has appeared here. At this point, we have not saved anything. So should anything go wrong, we put the wrong information in or we refresh the page, we will lose everything, okay? So this is what we've got, the address, okay, that looks fine. United Kingdom, yeah. Southwark, this is the weather station for the closest one to me, but we've got Greenwich, we've got Epsom, so we could choose any one of those. And customer name, need to type this in, so I'm going to type my name and the company. Oops. And then I'm just going to have a look down the bottom and see whether it's residential or commercial. This allows me to choose which field I save it under. So I'll save it under residential. We'll scroll down a bit. We've still not finalized the building. We're still doing just a bit of information. Then on here, my annual consumption, I'm going to pop in here 10,000 kilowatt hours a year. That's roughly what I'm going to use. Now I go to my consumption profile. Just where it says here, consumption profile, I click on the link and I get this information come up. So I've got none, retirees working from home. Let's see what that is. So what you can see on here, you imagine that if someone's working from home or retiree, basically their consumption is going to be quite constant throughout the day. okay, because they're going to be at home. Then we've got another one here of families with children of school age. So again, you'd be quite busy in the morning, and then children will be going to school and then coming home from school as such. Then we have children with preschool. So these will be either doing the morning at school or the afternoon at school, or maybe quite young and spending quite a bit of time at home. And you can see how the graph changes. Then we've got single or two-parent household. This is basically, or two-person household rather. This is where the people get ready in the morning, disappear to work, and then come back in the late afternoon, early evening. Or the last one is nighttime focus. So these are people that heavily work at night, like my son, who continually plays games in the evening on the Xbox and also the computer. So these are just the different consumption profiles. So we'll stick with this one. Okay, family with school age children. So we've done that, and we'll choose this one. Okay. Next thing we've got to do is grid parameters. So you can have a choice of 400 to 230 or 230, or this here is 480 to 277. It's more for your commercial, and that would be for your medium voltage. So we'll stick with this one. That's no problem. Power factor will keep as 1. Export limit, we'll put in an export limit. So the UK, the export limit is generally 3,680 watts. Now, this is in watts, it's not in kilowatts. So what we need to do is actually, sorry, it is in kilowatts. Yeah, there we go. So we put the kilowatts in, any other notes. And as soon as we press create, this means that everything we do will save. So we'll press create, and then we're saved, okay? So what we did is we've now got this area here. Remember, we were in the project area, and this was a square because this was the house. What I should have said was, if you're not sure that this is the right one, you can move this around, but this is what we're going to do. Our house is within this square, so we could have this bit here, this commercial unit, could have this house here, this house here. We could have any one, so we're not a million miles away from where we are. So we can zoom in and we can zoom out and we can pan and we can tilt and we can do everything like that. So what's changed now is we're into the site modeling side, which is here. We've got a select button, we've got a draw button, we've got an obstacle button, we've got a background image, undo and redo, 2D and 3D. And all of these we're going to use. Then at the bottom, we've got point north, we've got reset view, plus minus, rotate the camera and pan. And we can do all this by using the mouse anyway. So I can left click and it will do nothing. But if I right click, I can drag the area around. If I do my mouse button, I can twist it around. And you can see on here the compass point is pointing a different direction. If you watch as I turn it around, you can see it moving. I can zoom in, I can zoom out, okay? So lots of different moves, and what I can do, just to make sure everything's okay, I can go back to this one here, and this is reset view. I'll press this, and it spins around to the right place. So let's zoom in, and let's pick our house that we're going to do. So let's see what we've got. Nice one, nice easy one to get going with. Okay. Here's a nice one here, okay? So we'll pick this one here. This is our house, it's a corner house. And what we're gonna do first of all is we're gonna go to draw. So we'll click on draw, and we're just gonna zoom in a bit to make it easy. And we're just gonna put a point down, and you can see my yellow line with the measurement. And I'm going to click it here. And then you see I've got now my angle is changing, and if I have a square, it's showing that I have 90 degrees, okay? So what we want is 90 degrees, not too bothered about the exact measurements right now, because as long as we've got it in the right place. You see this one also is a square, and it's trying to get me to snap on to where it should be. So as I'm coming along here, it's telling me this is where I need to click, and then it will tell me here, this is where I need to click as well. Now, because this is a bird's eye picture, you can see it's not directly above it, it's sort of an angle, and you can see that this actual roof here is a larger distance between this one than it is from this bit to this. So the center of the roof, the hip to the edge, is shorter here and longer here. Now that's just the optical illusion. In fact, in real life, it is exactly the same. If I come along here with my cursor, and you can see where it went a different color, so we're white, 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 and then it's telling me here. So I click on here. Again, it's giving me the option to do the angle. I come along here, and then it tells me again, boom. So that's my right measurement. We've got different measurements here, different measurements here to here. Can you see? So to be absolutely right, you would need to make sure that these are right. So what I can do is I can just pull these, okay, until that's square. I can pull this until that's square. I can go back, which I didn't show you this one here, which is undo. So I can go back. I can start again. Here's my line. Here's my next one. And see the measurements are now the same, 8.65. What I could do is I could have just clicked on that line and I could have changed the measurement up here by typing it in. So I could have done it that way. So let's go back. Let's click on my line here, here to here. There we go. 5.68, 5.68, 5.68, 4.33. So I know everything is square and it's absolutely lovely. It doesn't line up with the outside of the house, but while I'm on site doing my survey, I will take a measurement of the house to make sure it's the right. And also I'm going to take a measurement of the height. So I'll be able to tell what the height of the roof is, or the pitch of the roof. So what we can do also, we can zoom in again. Now we can pretend that there is a chimney here, so I can put a chimney here, and then I'll go back to my select tool. I'll click on it again, and I can move it around. Just make sure you can see that. So there's one chimney, and I can also click on my obstacle tool again, and I can draw a skylight. I'll click on the select tool, and I can move this wherever I want. I can rotate it to the right direction. I can move it around wherever I want. We're not limited to anything, so we'll have it there. So that's the basic design done, and then we'll go to 3D here. So I'll click on 3D, and now we've got a raised up house here with the houses here flattened. Now if I want to make it easy on my eye, I could click on grid view at the bottom here, and what that does, it gets rid of all the details that are there. Click it back and it will come back. So I've got my four corners. I can do one of two things. I can double click on this and I can lift the whole lot up, and this will give me the idea of having maybe a 4-story house or maybe a bungalow or something like that. So all I did was I got to the end line here. I can do this one here. I should be able to do this one here. Double click and it highlights all of them. Yes. And then I just, double click, and I can just drop it down or lift it up. So I can give the impression this is a block of flats or just a realistic height. So next thing I want to do is to do the pitch, and I'm going to just spin this around for you so you can see what it looks like. So this is what the house looks like if we spin it round. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the roof, doesn't matter which one. I'll click on the center bit here, and then I will simply lift it up. And as I lift it up, you can see that the skylight and the chimney that we drew earlier, they are increasing more. So let's just move this closer so we can lift it up, or we can drop it down. And as we're doing this, you can see that the angle of the roof is changing here as well. So let's just spin it round a little bit. So now I've got a chimney. Let me just move away. I can click on my chimney and I can make my chimney higher by just clicking on it, rather, lifting it up, so I can make my chimney higher. Or I can make my skylight disappear. So here's my skylight. Remember, we'll go to the side here and you can see what it looks like. There's my skylight. I go up to here to where it says flush. I click on flush and it disappears. So now this will be an obstacle on the roof, not necessarily a skylight. It could be anything you want. So we've got obstacles here. We've got a chimney. Let's just get it in the right place for you. Oops, completely miles away. So we've got a chimney, we've got a skylight, and there's our home there. Okay, now the next thing to do is we've done our design, we've checked all the measurements and they're all correct. We've checked the roof height, that's fine. We'll then go on to PV modules. So this is site modeling we've done. Now go on to PV modules. Click on PV module. And what you can see is you've got the roof. We're bird's eye view again. We're facing north. And we've got two buttons here at the bottom here. We could either select grid view. So that means we get rid of everything else in a drawing. And the other one is irradiance. Let's press on that. And what this does is this gives you the brighter color will give you the more irradiance you're going to collect. So obviously for this particular one, this will be the better direction to fit panels to. Whereas the other side, you could put panels on, there's no real problem with that. And you can see on here, when we put the chimney, how you've got the darker blue bit, indicating that you'll get shading off of that. Now, shading analysis is going to come very soon, and we'll be able to do that. So please don't be alarmed. At the moment, we are getting better and we are perfecting and doing more. So these are our panels. We've got the similar sort of buttons at the top. We've got select, we've got PV modules, guidelines, and we've got undo, redo. These are exactly the same here. And then we've got some new ones here, PV modules, DC power, and then consumption. And now we've got annual consumption of 10 kilowatt. So we know that that's what we've got to get. So we'll click on this roof here, or we could click on this roof here, doesn't matter, or we can click on this roof here. All it does is brings it into view. First thing we can do is we can hold down on the line and bring in a guideline of saying, okay, so we're not allowed to put panels past here. So all I'm doing is going to line and holding my left click down until I get to the right measurement. Oh, go back one. Okay, so there's my barrier I put there. I don't think that's quite right because I think that's actually that one up there. Okay, that's better. There we go. So there's my guidelines. The next thing I can do is put my panels on. So I click on here, add PV panels, and this now opens up. So I've got some information on here. I've got the manufacturer. So I can click on this one. It drops down loads of panel manufacturers that we can have. So we can go, we can do any one we want, doesn't really matter. Let's try, let's try one I recognize to start with. So what we'll do, we'll just type in LG. It's always a favorite. Then we can put in the module. So we've got all the modules on here. So we can go for, let's go down a bit, 300 neon black. We can then click on here and we can view the module specification. So we can look at that and make sure that's okay. So 60 cells, 3 strings, so it's got 3 bypass diodes. These are the lengths of the panels, that's okay. These are the wattages, and this is achieved. So loads of information on there, that's fine. We can put that away. The next thing we've got is flash mount or tilted. So because we're putting on a pitch roof, we just click flush mount. That means it's going to be the same angle as the roof. If we were doing a ground mount system or a flat roof system, what we would do would click on tilted, and that would then allow us to put the angle of our choice of whatever the mounting system we're using. So automatically it's telling us that the azimuth is 216 degrees and the tilt is 32. If I was to click on tilted, this would allow the tilted angle to change. Okay, so we can put that to any value we want. So let's go back to flush mounted, frame size 1, we've got landscape or portrait. Now we can do either, we can do landscape and portrait at the same time, it's not a problem. So we'll click on portrait and we'll go apply. And I simply draw my panels. As soon as I got one panel in the correct size, it appears. 2 panels, will I get 3? Oh, no, I won't get 3 because it's gone over the line. So it looks like I'm going to get 10 panels on there. You can see it's gone slightly over the blue line, but if I move it, they go red if I go over the edge of the building, okay? And then you also get an alert at the top here. So we can put those back. And then what we'll do is we'll click on panels again. We'll click on add, and we can change it to landscape, and we can put some on here underneath. See how many we can get. Okay, can't get 3 because I did too close. Let's go down here. There we go. So we've got another 3 on there, and we can move these around. We can also delete individual panels. We can do that. That's not a problem. Just by double clicking. Okay, and then what we can do is we can also drag across to put extra panels in, and I can get this one here and I can drag that one down. So we can fill in the gaps like that. So it's quite easy. Okay. Next one is we've got electrical design. So these are our panels. We've got 13 panels on our roof. We've got 3.84 kilowatts of DC, and it's automatically choosing a 3500H. Now, what we can do is we can change this to 155% because this is what the inverter is, and we can put that in. Okay. We can even add storage, and this will put in, say, 10 kilowatt battery. Put that on to 10 kilowatt. That tells us what battery we need. We can use the same inverter, or we can come down to 128 because that's what it's actually saying. 110. We can do anything we want. And you can see how the value changes here. So if I go down to 100%, you actually got SE5000. If I increase up, you've got SE3000 or SE3500. So that's what we'll do. We'll go for that one. We'll click on generate. And now we've got the inverter up here. We've got the optimizers up here. So we can click on this and it's telling we can have P300s, we could have P370s, P404s, or P405s. So we can change the optimizer. We'll change them to P404s, okay? What I've done there is I've changed it to P404 because I know we can have a minimum of 6. So I click on here where it says string, and then as I do this, you'll notice you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8. 8 of them before it goes green, okay? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's my optimizers. If I do it wrong, I can go delete and clear the whole string. We can click on here, P404, or we can have P405, and we can do the same thing. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so exactly the same difference. So that's all done. This is all done. We then go to summary and reports. Click on the reports, and what we get is a roof here. Now, it doesn't look very spectacular, so let's go back to site modeling. And let's just change this to satellite view. And we'll go back to summary. And what should happen is it looks a lot better. So we can see what the house looks like. You can see the panels on it. And you can see why I've lifted up the roof here to look like a two-story house. So it looks more realistic. We've got installed power 3.9, maximum achieved 3.8, 110% oversizing, and we've got the information here. We've got what we're exporting during the summer and what we're using. We've got the system production here. We've got consumption here, how much we're producing. So we've got 10,000 kilowatt hours per year that we're using. And what we're doing is we're importing 6.3, but we're using 3.69 of what we've got on the roof, okay? We've got losses here, we've got improvements because of shading and optimizers and things like that. Then we've got on here is the azimuth and also the tilt. So we've got loads of information on here, and then we've got the bill of materials. And the last thing that we can do is, or two last things I should say, is we can go on here, we can save it as a PDF. So load in preview, so you can then send this to your customer of what they're going to get, what it looks like, all the information. Here's your battery, here's your inverter, this is all you need, these are what it's going to look like, and this is what it will look like overall. So you can save a PDF and send that to your customer. Oh, that was the wrong one. Let's go back. Didn't want to press that button, did we? Okay. Bring it over. Let's go to designer. Boom. And we'll go back to our residential. Today's webinar. Go to where we were, summary of reports. And what I was going to say was you can go down here, you've got all the information. And then the very last bit, you go over to here to export to monitoring. Click on that. Say yes, that's fine. And what it does is it creates a monitoring site for you. We can then go to the physical editor and we can have a look. Just wait for it to load. We'll go edit draft layout. And what we've done is we've created the physical layout. Now all this is in exactly the right place. The inverters here, the panels are in the right place. And what else we've got is the site details. We've got the address. We've got everything's correct here. We've got the dashboard. Everything is set up, ready to go. All we're waiting for it to go online and the physical mapping to be done. Okay, so you've designed it, you've then gone all the way through the design with your bill of materials and ended up having a list of components that you need, the angle that you need, what you're going to get projected earnings out of it, production, and then you're creating the site ready to give to your installer for him to, or him or her, just to put the onto the site mapper, scan the barcodes and put the optimizers and panels in the right place and connect it online. So that's all done. Okay, so that's the basic one done. I'll just wait one more minute just for a few people to join, and then we'll go on to the advanced part. Okay, so just bear with me for 1 minute while we just wait for some people to join. So, right, let's start the advanced bit. So we'll go back to here. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to start on a new one. I'm going to start one I've done before. Preparation is key. So what we've got is a couple of things. So first of all, we've got ground mount system here. Okay. No, we don't want this one. We want a different one. Sorry, my fault. This one here. So ground mount system, here is basically where my ground mount is going. I have no idea where it's going, but this is my ground mount system. So we've gone from commercial, we're going to commercial now, and then go to site modeling. And what I've done, I've just drawn a perimeter. So this here is my perimeter. Basically what I'm saying is anywhere in here, I can put panels. I then go to my panel placement. And what I've done is I've drawn some panels here, and I'll show you what I've done in a second. So first of all, I'm going to go to the electrical design. I'm just going to click because I'm going to remove some. So we've got one of these. Okay, I'm going to delete this one. I want to delete it, yes. Then I've got, what's one of these? This one is here. This one is that one. 2, 3. Okay. So I'll get this one. Delete this one. And I'll delete this one. And there is method in my madness, and you'll soon see. So I'll go back to the panels again. And I can delete those panels, delete those panels, delete, delete, delete. Okay, so what I've done is I've designed it with some panels on here that I know there's 103, 104 panels. I've then gone to my electrical design, and basically I've got here, this particular one here is a SE27.6. It's got 110% with 3 strings on there. And all I'm going to do is, I've done this once. I don't want to be doing it every time. So I can highlight the inverter that I want, which is this one. And then I go to this button here, which is duplicate. And it's come up here in purple. I go, take me here. And what you can see is I've got blue panels here showing that they're okay. Then I've got some red panels here. So I'm just going to click on these. I'm just going to drag them until they go blue. Okay. So now I've got that and that. I can then go back to my electrical design. I can then go, okay, so I like the SE27.6. This is the other one I've done. Duplicate again. I go, take me here. And then I drag this across here. And I've got now 3 inverters. Okay, 327.6 is all done. And we'll do this once more. We'll do this with the 82.8. So the 82.8 is the equivalent of 327.6s. So I've got it here. I go duplicate. I go take me here. And then I just drag the panels around. So I do them individually. There's 1. There's 2. Here's 3. I'll go back to the electrical design. I'll just check I've got them all in the right place. So here's my 88. Okay, so I've got them wrong. So I need to move this one and this one. Okay, change them around. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this one I need to bring over to here. This one I need to bring back to here. Put this one back in here. I go to my electrical design, just check. Check on this one. So I've got this 82.8 is all those. This 82.8 is all those. I can go to my summary. And I'll scroll down once it's done. Again, here's my field. Here's all my inverters in there. And we'll scroll down. And remember I said about a racking type. So I used the tilted. So they're all facing south. We've got 275 kilowatts I've put in, 30 degrees. Here's my bill of materials, 3 inverters, 2 of those, 459 optimizers. And then what it does here is it also tells me what strings. So I've got 3 of 17, I've got 3 of 17, I've got 3 of 17, and 3 of 17. So it all works out well. Okay. Now that's when we duplicate. Now one of the new features, you can actually duplicate now. One of the new features that we've got is one of the most impressive ones. We'll go back up to here and we'll go to East-West Design. I'll show you this one here. Okay, so what we've got is a roof that's here. We'll pretend this is flat for argument's sake. And basically we've got east and we've got west. So where you would use south facing is if you wanted, to generate as much as possible. But if you wanted to achieve a good amount during the day, you would have half facing east and half facing west. This way it would allow whatever is using or consuming the power to have a steady amount of power through the day. So you won't have a peak like at dinner time. You will basically change over gradually. So you'll have a good morning, decent in the middle, and then a good afternoon, evening as well. All right. So what we've done, there's the modeling. We'll have a look at the modeling very quickly. Just basically a rectangle I drew, then PV modules. Now, it's very clever with this because what I've done is, we'll zoom right in, is I've actually got east-west. Now, these ones here, okay, if we click on, I've highlighted you see where they've gone blue. If we click on here, open this up, we can see that these are facing 270 degrees. So these are facing west, okay? Then the other ones here, I'll click on these, and now these have gone blue. I open this up, and they are facing 90 degrees. Now I can change this, and if you look in this general area here, you'll see it change. So I've got 90 degrees, and then I can change it. Oh, I'll change it on here, and it will let me. Okay, it won't let me change it because it stopped. There we go. You can see how it's changed, just a bit slow because there was quite a few panels. So I'll click on them again, open it up. You can see how, oh, that's the wrong ones. Apologies for that. These ones, you can see that they're now 88 degrees. So I'll highlight this and I'll put this back to 90. I'll press enter and there you go. They all line up the right way. So what I've done is I've got my east-west split here. Just click on those ones, click on these ones. I'm just going to bring them into line very slightly, so a little bit closer, not too close. Okay, that will do. And then I'll go to my electrical layout. Chop, chop. So basically what we've got is, when it lines up, we've got all of these are strung, okay? And we've got SE82, SE82, and so on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these, okay, and I'm going to delete them all gone, okay? Delete all these inverters. Now you're thinking that's crazy because I've got maybe about 2 hours of work now to do, okay? So what automatically it's done, all of the panels are still there, they're just not associated with anything. I go into my electrical layout, they're all facing east-west is what we've done. And we've got on here system oversizing, actual oversizing is 86. So we can drop that down. We can go down to 100%. We can go up to 135 or 120. Let's go to maximum 135. And what it's telling us is we need 1 to 4 of SE82.8, P600s at 2 to 1. Now, if I'm going to do that, I'd be there for ages because I'd have to go onto here to string and do that. But now we've got on the beta, we've got this little thing called auto string. So I'll click on this, okay? And now it's generating the auto string design. And it's telling me down here, I'll just scroll down the bottom here. It's telling me that I've got the first 82.8 as 2 strings of 23, 1 of 22, 2 of 23, 1 of 22, and there's my other secondary unit, and so on all the way through. Okay, and if I'm happy with that, I think that's okay, that looks good. And then we've got a SE25 as well, just thrown in. That's got 4 strings, that's not a problem. I'll go generate, and within a few seconds, there we go, all done. So these inverters are all done, it's all strung. We'll go back here to summary and reports. And you can see on here, it was a 528 kilowatt site we've just done, and it literally took us seconds to do it. So we'll go down to here. I just want to scroll down here to see we've got 901 panels, okay, facing 90 degrees. We've got 861 panels facing west, 270 degrees. These are the equipment we need for SE82.8, one SE25, 885 P600s, okay? And this is the electrical design here, how it's going to be wired, each inverter, how many strings, blah, 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 blah. And the beauty of it is, okay, so we've got 27 modules not wired, so we have to look at that. The beauty of it is we've got this bit here. Let's wait for it to come back. This takes a few seconds just to appear because it's got to just quickly populate. Okay, so we'll zoom out a little bit because we can still zoom out. And what I want to show you is, I'm just going to move this around so we're here. Zoom in, whoops. Zoom in, and then we should, if we've done it correctly, you can see on here that we've got optimizers on 3.7. So these are facing west, okay? You don't want your west and east optimizers on the same string. So what we've cleverly done here is one, these are facing west. It skips these, it does these. Again, these are facing west, skips those, does these that are facing west. These that are facing east, these that are facing east. So it's automatically worked out which is east and which is west facing, okay? Now, that looked a bit too easy, didn't it? So let's do something different, okay? Let's go back to new designs and we'll just wait for it to change. Okay, so we've done the ground mount, we've done the east-west, and now we've got south-facing with skylights. So what I've done is I've drawn this building here. I'll go to the site modeling just to show you what I've done. So we'll go to 3D and then you can get an idea. So this is basically what I've done. I drew this earlier just to save us a bit of time. And you see we've got skylights on here. See, these are all skylights. These are skylights. And then what I've done is I've drawn the skylights on, just like I did with that chimney in the skylight. So you can see on here, these will now appear as obstructions, and also these appear as obstructions. These are my two roofs. Okay, I'm going to go to PV module placement. I've got this roof here and this roof are my best ones because I can do them with radiance and see which is best. Okay, you can see these are the best. These are obviously okay, the east and west, but you're quite limited because of the angle. So I'm going to go on to grid view, and this shows me where my skylights are. I'm going to click on this one here. I'm going to go to PV panels, open it up. Okay, we go with this panel, that's not a problem. It's given me my azimuth, it's given me my tilt, it's given me my portrait, and it's flush mounted, so that's good. So yeah, we'll go with that. And basically I just come over into the corner and I just let it go, basically. I let it populate all the panels I want. We'll shut that down, it's not a problem. And then remember, we can zoom in, like I said. We'll click on these panels and I can just drag this across a bit more. Just let it finish off the last ones. And then I can also drag the bottom bit down as well. You can see the red ones on here. So what I need to do is just shift it up a little bit. Shift it a little bit more. Touch more. Touch that way. Touch below. And if it does go wrong, I just press delete and it's done. So I can zoom out again. I'll just zoom out until we're in the right place. Move this across. We can do the whole lot in one go. Add PV panels, come down to the bottom. Just draw my line all the way across. And then simply go up, okay? And this is automatically plotting the best place for my panels. I let go of it and we're done, okay? So there's all my panels on there. We've got a couple of gaps we could tidy up, we could faff around and we could sort that out. That's not a problem. I just want to show you this. So I go to my electrical design. We can see on here it's telling me 382.8 with optimizers. I can click on auto string again and then generate. And that's all done. There are some panels here that aren't, oh no, they are all wired, yeah. So everything looks like it's got a optimizer on it. You can just zoom in, you can see any panel with a circle in it, that's good. Good, 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 good. And you can see where they all are. That's good. And then we'll go to summary of export. And we've just installed or just wired 273 kilowatt peaks in a matter of seconds. We've wired it and connected it all and done it all together. Okay, now we'll just scroll down and we've gone, okay, so this is what we want, blah blah blah. That's all well and good. Yep, that's fine. Here's all the material I want. And you hand this in to your customer, and then you say to your customer, oh, you know, by the way, what we could have done is we could have put some more panels on there for you. And it says, oh, that's okay. Give me a drawing of both, one with you know, half the roof and one with all the roof, So you go to here, you click on duplicate, you go, yeah, that's the one I want. You then go to panel. You've already got all these on here, so we'll click on this roof here. We'll add the panels using the same panels. Draw the line all the way across. And we'll go up. It's a little bit slow. That's okay. And we'll leave it like that. And wait for it to finish. Okay, so now we've got all the panels on there. Again, we've got a couple of areas we could add, one or two, but you know, we're not super bothered about that right now because this is only just a demonstration. We'll go back to electrical design and we'll wait for it to open up. And this bit's all been done, hasn't it? And this bit hasn't. So we'll click on what we need to do is we need to click on the electrical design. So these are all here. So we can do a couple of ways. We can add. So I've clicked on add. And as soon as we click on add, it's telling me that I need additional, okay? Additional inverters. These are the three blue ones that we need. Again, I go to auto stringing, click on that, and it's generating, and then I go generate done. And there we go. Let's just wait for it to finish. Then we can go to the what do they call it? Okay, this is my internet. This is not the program. I tell you what we'll do. We'll go back to site modeling. Refresh the page. Wait for it to turn. There we go. So we'll go back to here. We'll change it to satellite view. We'll then go to summary. And we'll see in the satellite view, we'll see a different picture. There you go. Okay, with all the panels on there that we put on there. And now we've done 0.5 megawatt site in maybe 10-15 minutes. Okay, we can scroll down. We can see the bill of material, how many inverters we need, how many optimizers, and then it tells us exactly what we need to do, how we need to string them, how many optimizers per each one. And we can see this in the string design, and this will populate again, given some time. There we go, telling us exactly what we've got, what strings, and then we can just follow the route as it dictates on the drawing. So just bear with us a second while we're waiting for it to populate. I've got one more thing to show you, and then we can do some questions. So here we go. I can see something's happening. Okay. Come back to that. I will do the export. Click on yes. Export to monitoring. Clicking on site, we'll go to physical layout. And then we've created another site here with all the details of the panels, the directions, the name and address, and everything like that. We'll go edit draft layout. And what we will see is every single panel that we've put on. Okay, these are all the panels in the right place, all ready to go. Physical layout's done, design's done, the stringing's done, everything is done. Easy peasy. Let's just go back to here. Let's wait for this, give a refresh of this. Wait for this to pop up. So we're about 4 minutes away from finishing. So if you've got any questions, please type away. I will send you a email very shortly with some links to different designs, so how you can do different roofs, stuff like that. So yeah, we're just waiting for this to come up. It's quite a bit of information, so it takes a while to load. Again, you can print this off as a PDF and you can save it. So while we're waiting for this to come up, has anybody got any questions at all you'd like to ask? Bear in mind, this is the beta version I've shown you, and the only thing that's on the beta version that you don't have is the auto string. Everything else you've got. So you can do the duplicates, you can do everything like that. So if you've got any questions, please ask away. If not, you are free to go. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was pleasant for you, and I hope you learned something in the last half hour, hopefully. Maybe in the beginning, the first 30 minutes as well, you learned something different. Okay. So, yep, you're absolutely right. You just need the same login, the same email address as you do for monitoring, you can use for designer. And it's best to have one login for your company, and that way you can all see the same information, okay? Right, no other questions. So thank you very much for your patience and your attendance, and I hope to see you very soon on another training. Okay, thank you, and goodbye, and enjoy your afternoon.